So I'd like to share a story. It's called Circles of Light, The Flaming Chalice by Janine Grossmeyer. And it's adapted from one of our UU storybooks, A Lamp in Every Corner. It picks up from what I shared earlier about our friends Waitstill and Martha Sharp. And you can learn more about their amazing work on the website for the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum. Their story is remarkable. So let's go back to the dark nights and the darker days of World War II, where guns blazed all over Europe and airplanes dropped death from the sky. Many people tried to escape from the war, and these people were called refugees. Some Unitarians in the United States decided to help the refugees, and they formed the Unitarian Service Committee. The committee members went to Europe to try to bring refugees safely out of the war, but the refugees came from many different countries. They spoke different languages like German and Yiddish, French, Italian, Polish, Hungarian. Most of the refugees did not speak English, and most of the Unitarian committee members only spoke English. The Unitarians were acting and providing critical aid. How could they best reach the people when they couldn't easily understand each other? A person named Dr. Charles Joy was in charge of the committee. He knew that the Unitarians needed a symbol everyone could recognize, no matter what language they spoke. It would have to be a picture with no words. Dr. Joy asked an artist named Hans Deutsch for help. Mr. Deutsch understood why a picture would be helpful, for you see, he had come from Austria, but now he was a refugee in Portugal because of the war. A German man in a Portuguese-speaking country. Mr. Deutsch made a drawing of a chalice with a flame, surrounded by a circle that looked like it was protecting the chalice. He showed it to Dr. Joy, and the symbol really worked. Soon, refugees all over Europe began to see this symbol wherever the Unitarian Service Committee went to find and help them. The refugees knew the symbol was from people who were taking action for and with them. They knew they could trust the committee and the people represented by the symbol because of the work they had been doing. They did not need to speak English or know how to read to understand. The symbol gave the message of hope, freedom, and love that the refugees were looking for. After the war was over, Unitarians began using the flaming chalice and its circle in their worship. When the Unitarians and Universalists later merged, the single circle in the symbol expanded to two circles. That's the symbol that you see on the front of our gray hymnal, our gray songbook. You can take a look at it if you want. See that? So imagine that with just one circle. That was the original bat signal for refugees in Europe. We as UUs have all kinds of chalices. We light a chalice on Sunday morning. We light a chalice at other times when we gather as committees or teams. And if we don't, that might be a good practice to add. Wink, wink. Some of us use chalices during meals or on special occasions. I light a chalice every time I am on a Zoom call with my work through Moose Jaw, or whenever I'm talking with any of you, I light a chalice. Sometimes it's not literal, sometimes it's the chalice in my head, but it helps ground me in the conversation I'm about to have. Chalices come in lots of different shapes, sizes, and colors, just like Unitarian Universalists. The flaming chalice is a faith symbol for us. It is a symbol of bravery, of caring, of love, and it is a symbol of hope and freedom and light. It is a symbol that brought safety to people fleeing persecution. It is a symbol we can be proud of, and we can attempt and practice living into the promises that it holds. The symbol was born, and I'm moving on from the story now, just to be clear. I didn't take a big enough pause there. This symbol was born out of a need to convey trust, to tell people who are facing extraordinary life and death moments, you can trust us because of what the symbol represented. Groups of people taking real action backed by fierce love, integrity, care, and commitment, key components to what makes trust trustworthy. Love, integrity, care, and commitment. Not facile trust, not just go ahead and trust me because I say so, but trust that's got real bones within it. No matter the circumstances or context, trust of any kind is not an easy path. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if everything will be okay. We don't know what can or should be done. And sometimes we simply do have to just trust. Trust at every level and scale requires vulnerability. It is surrendering, it is letting go, it's not being fully in control, as if that is even ever possible. Trust the people, implores Adrienne Marie Brown. Can we? How do we do that? Trust the people and they become trustworthy, she says. That's asking a lot. Is that even possible? Trust, she continues. Trust that each breach of trust can deepen trust or clarify boundaries. This is one of the critical teachings about trust, that it's not wholesale. It's not all or nothing. Trust comes in moments, in parts. We can isolate the pieces that are not trustworthy, but we cannot let that and those who aren't trustworthy stop us from trusting, from risking to trust. Trust is not naive or irresponsible. It is learned through the grist and gristle of real and messy and imperfect life. I think that we can and do and should trust the people because it's the only way we can truly be in community, truly liberate ourselves, and truly liberate each other. It's been written that we're never so vulnerable than when we trust someone. But paradoxically, if we cannot trust, neither can we find love or joy. We have to be able to trust. And in these times where there's lots to be distrustful of, how do we allow ourselves to trust anyways? To find people and places and communities and ways to trust, to love, to find joy in that kind of vulnerable relationship. We practice trust, and we trust the process. We risk trust, and we remember that the symbol of our faith as Unitarian Universalists originated as a visceral example of that risk. The stories that we will be hearing in the coming weeks through the guests at our global table come out of the hardness and realness and realities of the world, but they weren't deterred either, because they know, as we sang, that there is more love, more hope, more peace, and more joy somewhere. We can trust that we can keep on finding it. Trust the people, my friends, and trust yourself. Can we try to do that? Maybe. Blessed be, and amen.